Hello everyone, happy Mother's Day. My name is Sarah Travellini and today our video is going to be Act 2. An avalanche of information is coming your way. We're going to start off with Sean Hannity and he's going to give you a short list of things to expect coming out in the next coming weeks. All of the things that he's listing is the things that he's been talking about with the bucket of 5. We're going to go over each of those things in a little bit of detail, and in the show notes I'm going to have links to everything so you can go and you can research your heart out on all of the information that I'm providing today, and then you will be prepared for what's coming out and who to follow. I'm going to give you a couple of people that I think that you should follow in the next coming weeks, and that is Representative Doug Collins. Follow him on Twitter, because he's going to be releasing some of the closed-door testimonies. Of course, John Solomon, Sarah Carter, they are also going to be releasing information. What information they're going to be releasing, I'm not really sure, but those are two good people to follow. And it's also Judicial Watch, because, of course, they're getting all of their FOIA requests that they've been putting in. And that's going to also help us put together some of the pieces to the puzzle. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started on this avalanche of information.
Buckle up. An avalanche is coming. I've been telling you about this. It will destroy, if there's any remaining credibility of the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists and the rage media mob in this country, along with their allies in the Democratic hate Trump left. And those that have abused power inside and outside of government, you are about to face the justice that many of you deserve. We have made a promise on this program that we will hold all of them accountable, which has been a central focus of this show. And tonight, we are making real, significant progress on multiple fronts. Now, what's going to happen in the days, weeks ahead is this is but a short list of what will be made public beyond the Mueller report. So much more that proves that the reporting and the investigations that have gone on in this show for over 2 years will all be proven to be true. All confirm that the investigative reporting on this show with our ensemble team, that we have been accurate and correct all along, all while the media mob and the Democratic mob have lied to you repeatedly for 2.5 years. This is just a short list of what will soon be made public. For example, we'll get into this tonight. At Judicial Watch, they're released today. Oh, it's blockbuster. Wait till you hear what we have. Criminal referrals this week by Devin Nunes. Attorney General Barr today pledging an investigation. This has been long overdue. The Horowitz report on FISA abuse. Uber report on the issue of leaking classified information, other information. And, of course, the release of more closed-door testimony, thanks to Congressman Collins. We have more of that tonight. We will be sharing, as a matter of fact, very blockbuster there. Also, FISA applications, Gang of 8 materials.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop there. And then we're going to go into a little bit of details of each of these things. So let me get my old lady glasses on. So going to the release of the 53 more closed-door grand jury testimonies. I have links, again, for everyone to go and get lots of detailed information on each of these things that I'm talking about so that you can do further research for yourself. But here is Representative Doug Collins' Twitter handle or Twitter address. You will be able to click on that, and I would suggest that you start following him. And then on Inspector General Horowitz, John Solomon was on Sean Hannity, I think it was like April 25th, and he said expect to start seeing something coming out around 2 or 3 weeks from then. So I counted up the days, and it comes out to about May 16th to the 23rd. Now, this is just my guess. So what I think is going to happen is it's going to come out, it's going to have to be reviewed, and then after it's reviewed, then I guess it'll probably be made available to the public around the middle of June. So I would look around the middle of June, but expect for it to go for a review between the 16th and the 23rd. Now, Hubert's going to be reporting on leaking, but we have to go back to this in our placeholders. The Inspector General's report has to come out first, has to be reviewed, made public, and then we're going to start seeing more information. Then Hubert's going to come out on leaking, and whatever his report ultimately ends up becoming or leading to, because I'm anxious to find out what's going to happen to all of these people in the lying media that conspired to continue this lie even after they knew that it wasn't true anymore. So I have a link here where you can go and you can see all of the mainstream media reporters from WikiLeaks. There's 65 of them on the list. Also, you can go and read the story about Steele and where his story starts to fall apart, and talks about the person in the Department of Justice that actually reported that information and reviewed it and said, hey, this information that he's putting on here, it's not true. But they didn't listen to that person, and they went ahead and used that information anyway to get the FISA report. President Trump also said that he's going to declassify the FISA applications, and he's also going to declassify the Gang of Eight material. So what that's going to show us is the all of the people in the Intelligence Committee at that time, what they were doing, what they knew, when they knew it, and how long did they know that this information was salacious and unverified, and still continued on with the hoax. Again, there's a link with all of that information. And then again, well, Attorney General William Barr said he's gonna look into it. He's gonna say who started this and why. So I have a couple, links here so that you can look at that and get more information about that as well. So here's Representative Doug Collins. He was on Hannity a few days ago, and he said probably not this week, but we're getting ready for next week. We want to let the Democrats let their hypocrisy shine this week, and we're going to get back and watch what Bill Barr's doing, and we're going to get back to exposing this to the American people. So over the past few months, Collins has been releasing several interview transcripts from the Judiciary Committee's investigations. So he's already released a transcript from former FBI agent Peter Strzok, former FBI lawyer Lisa Page, the official Bruce Orr, his wife Nellie Orr, former Trump campaign aide George Papadopoulos, former top official Bill Priestap, and former FBI General Counsel James Baker. So if you have not seen those reports or you would like to read more information about them, I do have the links so that you can look at all of those reports. Again, make sure you go on Twitter and you follow Representative Doug Collins, because he's going to be the one that's going to be releasing this information. So here is the 53 remaining people that they have closed door testimonies on. This is the person, and this is the day that they had their closed door testimony. So these are the names, these are the people. So we can surmise from some of these people what they may have said, and how that's going to help us. So here it's unclear, which one of these people is going to be the next transcript, but from these 53 names, we know it's going to be somebody, and they're going to start being released next week. There was actually 55, but there were two that were withheld. And one was Dana I'm going to say it's probably wrong, Roybacher, and then Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Now, for many people that have been following this, sorry, my throat is a little sore. For anybody that may be following this, we know Debbie Wasserman Schultz is deep in the swamp. I mean, I don't know, she might be unattainable, but she's involved in a lot of nasty stuff. She's involved with the Awan brothers. She's involved with half of the Democratic Party having their stuff traced and surveilled. And she's involved in some bad stuff. Now, here we go. So here we have Operation Crossfire Boomerang. So here are some things that, they're going to be looking into. They're going to be looking into the electronic communications that Brennan gave to Comey and see where that takes everybody to. Declassify all Comey's memos. We're going to reveal the FISA 702 search queries. And then here it has, remember the April 27 court opinion that came out with Judge Rosemary Collier, and it showed that the FBI had contractors. Now, interestingly enough, I thought that it was CrowdStrike, Fusion GPS, Nellie Orr, and then I said Orbis Business Intelligence because that's who Christopher Steele worked for, and I figured since they contracted him. But I forgot all about Daniel Richman, and Daniel Richman is actually the gentleman that James Comey leaked to and gave his memos that were then posted into the New York, that were then published into the New York Times. So this was weaponized surveillance and domestic political spying. And then we have the subpoena for the Department of Justice National Security Division head John Carlin and why he hid the abuse from the FISA court. And then Carter Page FISA, the FISA abuse that was done there, released the rest of Lisa Page and Peter Strzok's emails. They're not missing. They're going to have to release them and find them. And then release all Bruce Orr's 302s, his FBI notes and interviews. And then we have some exculpatory evidence that Bruce Orr may have shared with FBI agent Joseph Pinka. And whoever this Joseph Pinka is, I've read that he was Bruce Orr's handler, which I find that interesting. They have handlers. But anyway, and then we have the 2-page scope memo that was provided by Rod Rosenstein to Robert Mueller to advance the fraudulent Trump investigation and initiate the more purposeful obstruction of justice investigation. So we can look forward to all of that fun stuff coming out. And then here, this was from Q Post 3317. I happen to have it in my hands here. And this was where we were looking at an interview on television, and it says, listen very carefully to the statements that were made by Joe DeGenova. And he had, here the big thing he said, the problem for Brennan and Clapper and Comey and Baker and all of them now is that the FISA court has already communicated with the Justice Department about its findings. And their findings are that for more than 4 years before the election of Donald Trump, there was an illegal spying operation going on by FBI contractors. And we're surmising that these 4 that I just listed may be those FBI contractors. We all know Fusion GPS was. We know that they were paid through Perkins Coie. We know that Nellie Orr definitely was one of the contractors. And I think Daniel Richman is probably the other one because he was listed as an FBI contractor. And if not him, then Orbis Business Intelligence, who Christopher Steele worked for. So I think we got them. I think that's it. So it said 4 of them to steal the personal information, electronic information about Americans, and to use it against the Republican Party. There are going to be indictments. There's going to be grand juries. John Brennan isn't going to need 1 lawyer. He's going to need 5. So what they're basically, getting at is they said that the overall intelligence apparatus of the United States government was already conducting political surveillance on their political opposition. Oh, and I got an extra bonus for everyone. Happy Mother's Day. In the notes, because I made this long, drug out all these PowerPoints, and it was just too much. But what you will find when you go through the notes is that I have all of the apparatuses that have been used since 9/11, that the FBI has used and the intelligence communities have used to surveil all of us. They have been surveilling all of us illegally since 9/11 with the help of Google and Facebook and others. So all that information's in the show notes as well. But, everything got messed up for them with Admiral Mike Rogers when he discovered the use of the database that he shut down on April 18th. And then, boom, Fusion GPS came into the rescue April 2016. So the Obama administration, the U.S. government intelligence apparatus, needed an external source of information that could cover their domestic surveillance and spy operations because what they were doing was illegal. So they needed to create create a story, sorry, to so they could continue on with their surveillance. So that's why Fusion GPS was hired, and why the emphasis was put on using European and Australian intelligence contacts to create the plausible process to continue surveillance that was always taking place. This corrupt weaponizing of the U.S. intelligence is much bigger than anyone currently can absorb. And when you start reading all of the information that I found and how the FBI is already using facial technology, how they're using it through the Motor Vehicles Real ID Act, how all of our information has been surveilled, and that's why they're able to knock people off the internet at anytime they want, which is again against our freedoms. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to these people for what they've done to us. But anyway, to all of us, not just President Trump, all of us, this has been happening to everyone. So we still have Michael Horowitz, and he's going to report back on the FISA abuse. And here's another link that you can look at to get more information on that. And then I'm going to go over this real quick about Chuck Grassley.
Up.
Okay. There have been a number of leaks coming out of the Justice Department and FBI during high-profile investigations. The Inspector General found that during the department's investigation of Hillary Clinton for mishandling highly classified information, there was a culture of unauthorized media contacts. During the Russian investigation, the leaks continued. Leaks undermined the ability of investigators to investigate. Further leaks to the papers, while Congress's questions to the department go unanswered, is unacceptable. Why? What are you doing to investigate unauthorized media contacts by the department and FBI officials during the Russian investigation?
We have multiple criminal leak investigations underway.
So there you go. So just you can see, they have multiple investigations underway, which I think we pretty much knew that, but just so you heard it from the horse's mouth. And so, again, I have some links and more information on that for you. And then, here are some names that was given to us.
Welcome back. Congressional Democrats are gearing up for a bitter battle with Attorney General William Barr. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler giving Barr an ultimatum before moving forward with his threat to hold the AG in contempt. I understand from my sources that he's going to try to mark up a resolution.
We got to close that off. All right, so let's go back to the show. Little mess up there. It's okay. It's good. Everything's good. Okay. So now you get to see all the backs. All the stuff we were do in the background. Anyway, sorry about that. So at least 65 mainstream media reporters were chummy with the Hillary Clinton campaign. These are a list of a few of them, and then I have the link for the WikiLeaks list so that you can see who all of them are. Again, Attorney General William Barr he has a team that's already in place, and it's already been in place. If you remember, Jeff Sessions put that team into place with with Horowitz and Huber. So they're all looking into this information, and that's going to start coming out. And it's all going to come back to Brennan becoming the point man to the operation, whether he meant to be or not. He was the one that started it. He took unofficial foreign intelligence compiled it by contacts, colleagues, and associates, primarily from the UK, but also from other Five Eye members. And again, I have all that information in there. And here's another name to listen for, Robert Hannigan. So I think that's going to be someone that we're going to hear more information about. And remember, just 3 days after President Trump was put into office, Hannigan all of a sudden retired. Okay, so don't forget about him. Here's some nice graphs for you to look at all of the people that were involved. And you can get a little bit of information about each of these. And here's the link to get more information on that as well. Nice little nice visuals. And then just to sum it all up, here's a few of the abuses that have negatively affected the United States. So here are some of the scandals and the unlawful surveillance that has been happening against American citizens ever since September 11th. And it truly has gotten out of hand. And the intelligence agencies have been making a lot of money off of it. And people are dying. People are being killed from the information that they are providing. So these are some great links. I would suggest that you look at all of them, and you will see that the information that is being leaked is affecting people's lives in the United States. I want to once again wish everyone a happy Mother's Day, and I hope that you gain a little bit more information about the things that are coming out, and this video helps to prepare you a little bit more, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great day.